fraud channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this right here. I told you. Jim from Self Research NBA Facts is a fraud. This guy is one of the biggest frauds out there. So I'm sitting there and it is on LeBron James again. Every video is basically about talking about how Michael Jordan was the best at every stat. And LeBron James was the worst. LeBron James was the worst at everything, and Michael Jordan was the best. Okay? Now, I know a lot of people, they might say, oh, man, well, no, Jimmy, he does videos on other people. I'm talking about 9 out of 10 videos is about how Michael Jordan was the best at everything. Don't give me a video here. 99%. There can be a 1%. That's like you telling me Dreamers Pro does a video about something else, but 99% of his videos is about Fox Sports and ESPN, right? Because he works for them. And you can't tell me he ain't, because you won't be pushing their content for free. It would be meaningless. So anyways, saying about Dreamers Pro, this is about this fraud Jim. But anyways, like I said, 99% of his videos is about Michael Jordan or LeBron James. LeBron James was the worst, or one of the worst, and Michael Jordan was the best, or one of the best. And again, it's proven because it's always in his title. Go through his whole page and say LeBron, Michael Jordan, LeBron, Michael Jordan, LeBron, Michael Jordan. Okay, and then you might get some other name just to make it look like he's really this basketball historian. Okay, and a lot of people might be tricked because because he's throwing in other names while he's pissing on LeBron James as the worst, and he's throwing in other names in his video to prove Michael Jordan was the best. That's what he does. A little sneezing right there. Wow. So he's not a basketball historian, guys. He's trying to get money. He's there to prop up Michael Jordan and diss LeBron James, which, okay, that's fine. I don't have no problem with that. But he's a fake historian. There's a lot of things that Jerry West did, and you could do a lot of videos just on Jerry West, on Wilt Chamberlain, or, Bill Russell. And we're going to talk about Bill Russell in a minute. Because, like I said, I'm not here to diss Bill Russell. I put Bill Russell in his proper context. Like I said, everybody else was scared to do it for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. Because if anybody else was in Bill Russell's shoes as an all-time great player, they would just be maybe somewhere in the top 50, but would not be in no top 10, no top 25. Nevertheless, we're going to talk about that in a minute. That's why I made this video. Yeah, but it's a lot of stuff that other guys did. Don't matter. Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, John Stockton. So if he was this historian, like he said he is, all his videos every day would just be spread out to what all these players did that other players didn't do. You get what I'm saying? Michael Jordan did accomplish all the feats. Yes, he did. Yes, he was the best at a lot of stuff. But it's a lot of stuff Larry Bird did that Michael Jordan didn't do. It's a lot of stuff that Magic Johnson and Kareem and he don't make videos and say, well, Kareem was the best center at this, or Shaq was the best center at this, or you know what I'm saying? That's not in his headlines. He don't make videos like that. That's a basketball historian if you're talking about the NBA. His main focus is on LeBron James and Michael Jordan. And like I said, yes, other guys turn up in the video, but it's just to prove how horrible LeBron James was and how good Michael Jordan was over everybody else. But if you just cherry pick stats, that's what's going to happen. If you cherry pick scenarios, that's what's going to happen. If you just limit it to certain criterias, that's what you can come up with. That's what you can come up with. So listen, on his latest fraud ass video, I don't know what he was going to talk about, but I think he was dissing LeBron James again. Like I said, these guys can't eat without LeBron James. We already know these things. We already know LeBron James' career is a fraud, but he comes out there, he needs Nick Wright, he needs Shannon Sharp, he needs all these people so he can set the record straight. Big deal. We know all that stuff, man. Most of the stuff you say about LeBron James, we know all this stuff. You don't have to, for LeBron James' career, and maybe Michael Jordan's career too, you don't have to be no historian on this stuff. We all know this stuff. Like I told you before, he came out with his channel, and he come out with a lot of these numbers and a lot of these, situations or whatever. We got a lot of guys already been putting out there for years. So he act like he He digging out something new that we already knew and didn't give nobody no credit for any of this stuff. So anyways, he calls himself about to rebuttal one of the guys in his comment box about, I don't know, saying that Bill Russell played with 13 Hall of Famers and all this stuff. And then he said before he could rebuttal, somebody in the comments shut him down. Probably a bot or something like that. It's a lot of stupid bots in people's comments that don't know what the hell they're talking about. And he said, no, he didn't play with 13 Hall of Famers. I think he did. I think he did. So he goes on in his career, not at once. He was playing with like 8 Hall of Famers at once. So he goes on to shut them down by saying like Ramsey, Casey Jones, Tom Heinsohn, who else? I think, what's his name? Bob Sanders or Tom Sanders or something like that would not be Hall of Famers without him. And I think he said somebody else wouldn't be a Hall of Famer without him too. This is what this guy really thinks, man. This guy is on something. And the fact is, well, he also goes on to, a lot of these guys that they were added on to the team late in their career that were already Hall of Famers from other teams. And they were like on the last leg, that came onto the team, like a Ray Allen or, just add-ons like a Bill Walton, these type of things. He says that they didn't play no role, but yet throughout the Celtics, well, we'll just say throughout Bill Russell's career and winning championship, he kept adding on these pieces, these Hall of Fame pieces. Why did he keep adding them on if they was trash, if they were bench players? That's what you want. You want great guys coming off the bench with muscle memory. Why not? Why not? So he downplays them for whatever reason. But a lot of key guys like Sanders, like I said, Casey Jones, Tom Heinsohn, who else I said? Some other guys that were good. They won't be Hall of Famers. He said Casey Jones will be borderline Hall of Famer without him. Oh my God, dude. This guy said Casey Jones didn't make no All-Star game. Ramsey didn't make no All-Star. No wonder they were bringing 3 to 4 guys to the All-Star game. Casey Jones, Sanders, and some other guys, they were great defenders. What do you want them to be, the offensive players too? What do you think that the Boston Celtics were known for? Defense, you dummy. It wasn't just Bill Russell by himself. Are you a fool? What? I was shocked when he did Casey Jones. I was shocked. Saying how many points he scored. Wow. But yet, Bill Russell was one of the biggest brickfests to make the Hall of Fame. One of the worst shooters of all time. We went over that in a video. And he can't deny it. Bill Russell, and he was shooting under the basket, guys. He was a brickfest. So I was just shocked, man. He started to sound like another LeBron James fan. You can't escape all the help this guy had. He wants you to think that Bill Russell, a brickfest who can't even shoot, basically, when we talk about skills of a game, was a Dennis Rodman of the time. I know y'all like to talk about, you don't want to hear it because it's Dennis Rodman, personality is crazy. We're not talking about that, guys. We're talking about a Dennis Rodman type of talent. That's it. That's it. Okay, if you want to say the Dwight Howard type of talent, okay. The Dwight Howard type of talent. That's what he was. Though the Dwight Howard was a better scorer. Let's just say the Dwight Howard's defensive and rebound prowess. Let's just say that. What else do you want from me? Like he always says, what else do you want from me? Well, we want you to tell the damn truth. Because you keep trying to tell us a dude, literally, with the Dwight Howard, Dennis Rodman type of talent, single-handedly took them to 11 championships, guys. You're making yourself look bad because now you're making the era look like a fraud. He also wants you to think that he was able to take, based on his leadership, was able to take these guys to 11 championships because his leadership is going to make up for his offensive skills. But failed to tell the public he was leading all these Hall of Famers and top 75 guys. What is this guy talking about? I mean, Tommy Heinsohn is making all NBAs, all stars, Sam Jones is making all NBA, all stars. John Havlicek is making all NBA, all stars. Bob Cousy is making all NBA, all stars. What's that other guy's name? It's just so many of them, guys. Bill Sharman making all NBAs, all stars. What is this guy talking about? Well, there's no more room for anybody else. Ramsey was sitting there averaging he averaged 13 points in his career, guys. 13 points and that's his career. So I think he was averaging sometimes almost 20 points a game. So I guess we got to do another video on this because he wants to say these guys were trash that he played with, and they won't make the All-Star game, or they won't make the Hall of Fame without him. What's this guy talking about? He literally dissed KC Jones in that video. And I think he said Sam Jones would be like borderline Hall of Famer. Wow. And what's his name? Was it Bob or Tom Sanders or whatever it is? This guy was one of the greatest defenders of that era. I won't say he was top 10 or nothing like that, but we all know in the 60s, if you go look it up, that the Celtics, out of the top 10 defenders in the 60s, the Celtics had 3 of the top 10. KC Jones, Bill Russell, and Havlicek. And like I told you guys, if they had defensive teams back there, they could have brought 4 guys to the defensive team. Definitely Sanders is going to the defensive team just about every year. So they would have brought 4 out of 10 just on the Boston Celtics. What are we talking about? So what we're going to do is, just to put it out there, we're going to put the points per game later on for the guys that was on that team when they was winning championships. The points per game by year for these guys that was winning championships with Bill Russell, because he said they weren't doing nothing. The Ramsey, fine, we know the KC, he wasn't no scorer. He was a defender. He was a top 3 defender in the 60s. They played together at the same damn school. I think the same college or something like that? Bill Russell and KC Jones won championships together in college. What is this guy talking about, man? What's this guy talking about? You can't escape what Bill Russell had. And he's trying to escape it because he knows Bill Russell is not no top 5 player, not a top 10 player. He's a one-way player with those type of skills. There's no player in the top 10, I promise you, no player in the top 10 that was a one-way player. It ain't no one. I'm trying to tell you, either they was an all-around player or a two-way player. Or a two-way player. Bill Russell is a one-way player, guys. And he wasn't even the best one-way player of his era. I think, if I'm not mistaken, what's his name? Wilt Chamberlain grabbed 8 rebound titles. And Bill Russell only won 2 rebound titles over Wilt, guys. In one season, it was because he was hurt. He was hurt. He didn't play all them games. In another season, he only won a rebound title over Wilt because, yes, he was just better that year. But throughout the 60s, Wilt out-rebounded him. I won't be surprised if he out-blocked him. And he outscored him. Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Bob Pettit, Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson were all two-way players or all-around players. They just were. They just were. They had to do more than Bill Russell, who only had to play defense, guys. Bill Russell's, they're trying to prop this guy up for more than what he was. I'm just trying to tell you guys. He was a one-way player. The only reason why people think about Bill Russell to be in that top 10 and sometimes top 5 is because of the 11 rings. If you go put up his resume, it'll say 11 rings. We know they didn't count blocks or defensive player of the year. That's tough. We got to deal with it. But if you look at his resume, it says 11 championships and 4 rebound titles. That's it. That's it, guys. Also, just about every season, Wilt kept him off off the All NBA first team, except for I think 3 times. Wilt was All NBA over him. First team. I'm just telling you. This guy was a second tier center to Wilt Chamberlain. Because Wilt Chamberlain beat him at his own game, defense and rebounding, and was an offensive player. The greatest offensive player of that era. So again, when you go look at it, nobody else had the wiggle room that Bill Russell had. And when I say wiggle room, Bill Russell didn't have to worry about hitting those shots. He only had to worry about defense and rebounding. That's it. Jerry West had to worry about being a two-way player. Elgin Baylor had to worry about being a two-way player or all-around player. So did Bob Pettit. So did Wilt Chamberlain. So did Oscar Robertson. That wasn't Bill Russell. Like I said, there's no one-way players in that top 10. Show me the guy who's in the top 10 who's a one-way player. They're either two-way players or all-around players. When I say all-around players, I'm talking about grab you high points, high rebounds, and high assists for their position. That's what I'm talking about. Like a Larry Bird, like a Magic Johnson. These are the all-around players like that. Okay? Bill Russell wasn't. And it's no knock on Bill Russell, but like I said, people are putting him up there for his 11 championships. And you can put a lot of guys up on his team for being one-way players. Sam Jones was a good one-way player. I think you can think about Bob Cousy. He was an all-around player. Points, stats, and rebounds. How come he ain't up there? He's got 7 championships. Sam Jones got 9 championships. I'm talking. A lot of the guys on there got 8 championships, 7 championships, whatever. Look at who is this? John Havlicek. He won 2 championships without Bill Russell. What does that mean? You got dudes. We talked about how great that team was defensively. If I'm mistaken, I think it was Sanders, Bill Russell. I don't think K.C. Jones was there anymore. I had to go look it up. And Havlicek all won defensive teams the first year it came out. They was all on the defensive team the first year it came out, guys. That was basically at the end of their careers. So how many defensive teams is they going to make? See, when I put the Hall of Famers on his team, I didn't count dudes that was riding the bench and didn't never make no All-Star team, something like that. You had to not be a good defender or something like that because, K.C. Jones and, Sanders didn't make All-Star teams, but these were the premier defenders in the league at the time. And Ramsey, yes, he wasn't known for defense or nothing, but he was a scorer. If you was getting, I don't know, 20, 18, depending on what year it is, 20, 18, 16, 14 points per game on that team, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good with all the guys scoring. That's pretty good. That's what Bill Russell was averaging. Something like that. What a joke. This guy was winning MVPs, scoring 14, 16, and 18 points per game, guys. What a laughing stock. And people will say, oh, it's his defense. His defense? What? Everybody else was playing defense for their position. Wilt was playing the same defense. Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Oscar Robertson, all these guys were playing the same defense. They're grabbing basically the same rebounds for their position. They was grabbing a lot of rebounds. So he wasn't playing no more defense than those guys. But those guys, again, were two-way players or all-around players. So how was he winning MVPs over them on a stacked team? But like I said, when I did my evaluation and I put him with Hall of Famers, I put him with guys who were great defenders, and I knew they were going to make the defensive team or were there the whole time, like Ramsey, except for that, I think 1 year he went to the military, or guys who were there the whole time, who contributed. How you said Ramsey didn't do nothing? come off the bench, didn't do nothing. But he was, this man averaged 13 points per game for his career, guys. That's for a career. So imagine, it was years he was up there like 15, 16, 17, 18. And I'm sure he wasn't shooting no brick fest. I'm sure he wasn't shooting no brick fest like Bill Russell. But yeah, I guess we're going to have to do a video on that. That's something I forgot right there. To put these guys' points per game up there. And like I said, all of them ain't going to have a lot of points per game. But we're just trying to put it in the, perspective about how he had all this help on offense and defense. But again, he wants you to think. I'm not even sure at this point. But to me, he wants you to think that Bill Russell, a one-way player, won the Boston Celtics all those championships. Bill Shaman, again, was a great player. So he came into the league with Bill Shaman and Bob Cousy. I don't know. To me, they seemed like they were top 5 players in the league at the time, if not top 10. And we all know Bob Cousy was the greatest point guard until resume-wise. When you look at it resume-wise, he was the greatest point guard of all time until, and that's a long time, until Magic Johnson came in the league. That's a long time, guys. They went through all the 70s, and there was no greater point guard until, well, we got to say until, because Magic Johnson, we got to say until the 90s, really. Because Magic Johnson just didn't come in and was the greatest point guard. He got to accumulate accolades and stuff like that. So we'll say until, I guess the late 80s, 89. That's a long time. And we got to remember, he wasn't just, Bob Cousy wasn't just dishing out assists. This dude was dishing out, what do you call it? No, he wasn't dishing out. He was scoring a lot. Let me give you guys just a little idea right here. About Frank Ramsey. I don't have time to do it now. So in 63, 64, we'll just say 64, Ramsey, he scored 8 points per game. Hold on. We'll go when he comes in. So 57, he scores 12 points per game, 58, 16, 59, 16, 60, 15, 61, 15, 62, 15 points per game, and 63, 10. These were his last years. And 64, 8 points per game. So, and the man was grabbing you in these peak years when he, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, where he was giving you 16, I would say about 15 to 16 points per game. The man was grabbing you 6 rebounds a game, guys. I mean, another guy, we just do it for the shits and giggles. This ain't going to be the video. But Tom Heinsohn came in the same year as this fool, Bill Russell. He went back to Hall of Fame and all this stuff, even though he was on all NBAs with Bill Russell. So we'll do a full analysis of this. So Tommy Heinsohn came in 57. He grabbed you. 57 grabbed you 16 points, 9 rebounds. 58, 17 points, 10 rebounds. 59, 18 points, 9 rebounds. 60, 21 points, 10 rebounds. 61, 21 points, 9 rebounds. Goodness God. 62, 22 points, 9 rebounds. 63, 18 points, 7 rebounds. 64, 16 points, 6 rebounds. And 65, his last year, guys. 13 points and 6 rebounds. Wow. That's just crazy. Check this out. We'll just say the years when he played with Bob Cousy. So 57, Bob Cousy, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. 58, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. 59, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. 60, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists. 61, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. 62, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists. 63, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists. I mean, does anybody know what this guy's talking about? And then you get into Bill Shaman. I mean, this guy's grabbing 20. When he played with Bill Russell, he's grabbing like 20 points per game, guys. 20 points per game. Sam Jones, the same thing, man. From 64 until 69, Sam Jones basically grabs you like 20 points per game. that team was loaded, man. And then you had the Sanders guy. This guy was giving you 10 points per game while being a great defender. While give you like 6 rebounds. I mean, it's just too bad this guy's dissing. He's dissing his teammates now. Yeah, the Sanders dude, he made all defensive team in 69, guys. Too bad. Let me get off of here, man. But we'll do a whole video breaking down the stats for Bill Russell or his guys that basically was doing all the offensive work, and he wasn't. Bill Russell was a brickfest, and we'll break down the defensive guys that he had help with. And like I said, we're not even going to count the guys who, because I never counted. I was looking through there. I didn't count the guys who were just like bench warmers and weren't good on defense or offense. But I did count the guys who came over that he played with who were Hall of Famers. I mean, that's like saying, oh, don't count Bill Russell. He won the champion. I mean, not Bill Russell. Don't count Ray Allen on the Boston Celtics. No, the Boston, on the Miami Heat. Yes, I know you want to count Robert Parrish or whatever like that, because he tried to bring up Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish? Come on, guy. You got to be kidding me. This is what he compares some of these guys that came over and played with Bill Russell.